Welcome back to Management Made Easy. In the previous lessons, I've been sharing stories of successfully breaking through deadlocks, which might have led you to think that studying management can break all kinds of deadlocks. But today, I want to tell you that some deadlocks are very difficult to overcome, especially the ones we create for ourselves. Why do I say this? Because all management tools and methods are double-edged swords. They can solve problems, but can also create new ones. That's why management work is hard to perfect and get right once and for all. About 20 years ago, I was chatting with Mr. Hu Biosing, the chairman of Hanan Jianya, and he asked me, "Shengdong, what is management?" I replied, "Management is hard work." At its core, management is about constantly breaking through deadlocks and preventing the methods used in one stage from creating new predicaments in the next. Let me share with you one such predicament, the dilemma of managing through relationships. Many companies are used to managing through relationships. In modern management theory, there's a new term called Guanxi, which is an English term derived from pinyin. In the past, foreigners used terms like relationship or connection to translate Guanxi, but these terms didn't fully capture the unique Chinese concept. So they created a new term. Foreigners define Guanxi as the network of personal relationships that Chinese people build and maintain in life and business. Now, what does Guanxi have to do with breaking through deadlocks? Let me start with a famous Chinese scholar, Fei Xiaotong. He is best known for his book Rural China, in which he compares Chinese social relations to a ripple effect. A ripple is the wave created when a stone is thrown into water, causing concentric circles to spread out from the point of impact. Fei Xiaotong argued that Chinese social relations work in a similar way, with each person forming a ripple centered around themselves. In a sense, each person creates their own ripple, with circles of varying distances. The closeness or distance between these circles reflects the nature of their relationships. We often say, relatives have distance, friends have depth, which describes this very phenomenon. The ripple effect is a good way to describe Chinese social relations. This concept of relationship-based interpersonal interaction is evident in many organizations. Inside an organization, you will find many ripple-like relationship circles. Some people are closer, some are more distant. People in an organization know that for a leader, it's difficult to accomplish anything with a small circle of trusted individuals. If the leader's inner circle is small, it's hard to feel secure. Even if the leader holds great power, if the people in the audience are mostly strangers, the leader will feel isolated. So in Chinese organizations, subordinates often emphasize how well the leader treats them, while the leader is keenly aware of who their trusted circle is and who are outsiders. In Western companies, while there is company politics and nepotism, the mainstream culture still values performance and emphasizes evaluating subordinates based on their results. This is very typical in American companies, where relationships between bosses and subordinates are often performance-based. But Chinese organizations care more about whether subordinates are insiders. And although work performance is important, it tends to take a back seat in many cases. This leads to two scenarios. 1. Superiors may rate subordinates differently, depending on whether they are insiders. As we often say, you can say they're good, even if they're not, or say they're bad, even if they're good. Why does the evaluation differ? Because of the closeness in relationships. 2. In terms of assigning roles and resources, those who are trusted and those who receive different opportunities and benefits. Trusted individuals often receive more resources and better opportunities. You might disagree with my next point, but that's okay, because many aspects of management are controversial. Personally, I believe that the issue of unfair treatment of subordinates is something most people encounter. Some may think it's an isolated case, but I think it's actually widespread. Ironically, what everyone dislikes, everyone also does. For example, ask a manager if having too much nepotism in a company is beneficial for long-term success. They'll definitely say no, that companies should hire based on merit, not relationships. But in practice, everyone tends to choose people they are familiar with and trust. After all, working with trusted people creates a better experience, and in a way, it provides a sense of security. So, many things that managers might have disliked when they were subordinates, they quickly adopt when they become superiors. This is the result of our relationship-based culture. This culture sets up a very difficult predicament for leaders and bosses to break free from. If this predicament isn't addressed, organizations will face problems. Subordinates will be eager to be in the leader's inner circle, so they might pretend to be loyal and align themselves with the leader's values to gain trust. They will work hard to present themselves as trusted insiders. This is why in some organizations, there are many people who are polite and agree with everything but never criticize, while those who are more capable and self-assured may become marginalized because they done to conform to this culture. Ultimately, the organization's values become unstable, and only when performance declines do they start to value truly capable people. The most dangerous aspect of the relationship-based dilemma is that many times the so-called trusted insiders aren't truly loyal. They're just playing a role. I know the CEO of a large company who trained many people. However, when he had a stroke at 55, almost all of his trusted insiders visited him in the hospital once. But after that first visit, many of those he considered loyal never came back. Why? Because the first visit was just to assess whether he could recover. If recovery was unlikely, there was no reason to visit again. The people he trusted abandoned him. But those who had been criticized and distanced from his circle, they came to visit, which deeply moved him. He later said to me, "What the ancients said about human nature being more treacherous than mountains and rivers is absolutely true." In conclusion, in China, things are often done through relationships, and once you become a leader, you will likely rely on people you trust, hoping to make the organization more efficient and secure through these relationships. But it's this very relationship-based culture that creates a nearly impossible-to-break predicament. So, how do we break this dilemma? A Western management scholar once pointed out that there are 3 types of harmful trusted insiders to watch out for. 1. The echo chamber subordinate. This type of subordinate constantly reads the leader's mind, agreeing with everything the leader says, and always praises the leader, making them feel accomplished. 2. The isolator subordinate. This person intentionally isolates the leader from the truth, ensuring the leader only hears information that benefits them, while blocking any negative news. 3. The power grabber subordinate. This person acts like they're following orders, but secretly cultivates their own circle of trusted individuals while trying to take power. How can we prevent these types of subordinates? While Western managers tend to be more optimistic, my advice is to foster a performance culture to counterbalance the relationship culture. Relationship culture isn't without value. It can help improve trust and organizational efficiency to some extent. However, it also leads to many issues. The most effective way to handle these issues is likely to strengthen a culture of performance. In a relationship-driven society, the presence of bad insiders is normal, but we must prevent this from growing into an unmanageable situation that will ultimately damage the organization. The key is to use performance culture to highlight the truly capable individuals. As for how to completely break this predicament, I don't have a foolproof answer. This is what I meant when I said earlier that not all deadlocks can be broken. This is Management Made Easy. See you in the next class.